On June 20th, 1919, Y.W. Allen opened its first root beer stand in Lodi, California. 4 years later, A&W began with when Allen and Frank Wright opened their drive-in restaurant in Sacramento, California, combining both of their initials for the name and selling the root beer from Allen's stand. Curbside service was provided by tray boys and tray girls. In 1924, Allen purchased Frank Wright's stake in the business. In 1925, Allen began franchising the root beer, while the franchisee added the other menu items and operated at their direct discretion. This may have arguably been the first successful food franchising operation. Allen sold the company in 1950 and retired. Expansion. In the expansion years of the 1950s and 1960s, franchisees were signing 20 or 25-year contracts under the older model. The chain expanded into Canada in 1956, opening restaurants in Winnipeg and Montreal. By 1960, A&W had 2,000 restaurants. In 1963, the chain opened its first store in Okinawa. In the following years, the chain branched into other foreign markets, including the Philippines and Malaysia. Dale Mulder opened up Lansing, Michigan, A&W franchise in 1961. Mulder added to his menu in 1963 the bacon cheeseburger after a customer made repeated orders for bacon to be added to his cheeseburger. Thus, A&W is credited with inventing the bacon cheeseburger. United Fruit Company, a United Brands Company subsidiary. In 1963, the company was sold again, followed by another sale in 1967 to United Fruit Company conglomerate. AMK Corporation purchased the United Fruit in 1970. Then AMK formed the United Brands Company to hold A&W. In 1971, A&W Beverages Incorporated, a beverage subsidiary, began supplying bottled A&W products to grocery stores. The bottled products would become available nationally. In 1972, A&W's Canadian division was sold to Unilever. In the 1970s, A&W had more stores than the McDonald's, with a peak in 1974 of 2,400 units. Oshkosh, Wisconsin, franchise manager Jim Bydrick said problems back then, including a lawsuit, franchisee discontent, and inconsistencies in the operation, caused the chain to flounder and branches to close. A&W moved to a modern style franchise agreement which introduced royalty payments and new standards. However, as their 20 or 25-year original agreements expired, many franchisees refused to revise terms. A&W in the 1980s began offering the third pounder to compete with McDonald's quarter pounder. The third beat the quarter in taste test and was less expensive. All of this was cited in the marketing of the burger. Possibly customers assumed that the third pounder had less meat than the quarter pounder, thus refusing to buy it. Tubman Investment Company subsidiary. In 1982, Alfred Tobin purchased A&W and placed under Tobin Investment Company. Tobin only purchased the restaurant company and not A&W Beverages. The chain dropped to fewer than 500 locations in the mid-1980s. A reason on issuing franchises was put in place. A&W Great Food Restaurants. A new format concept, A&W Great Food Restaurants, was developed 10 corporate-owned locations were opened to test the concept, which was a sit-down, upscale, family-themed restaurant with a large salad bar and homemade ice cream. In 1987, the company was headquartered in Livonia, Michigan, and Mulder became CEO and president. The freeze was lifted and Pusha occurred in 1986 that added 60 franchise units. In 1989, A&W made an agreement with Minnesota-based Carousel Snack Bars to convert the chain's 200 stores, mostly in kiosks in shopping malls, to A&W hot dogs and more. Some A&W hot dogs and more are still operating. Yorkshire Global Restaurant subsidiary. In 1995, Topman sold A&W to Sidney Feltenstein. A&W merged with Long John Silver's to form Yorkshire Global Restaurants based in Lexington, Kentucky. Yorkshire in 2000 agreed to test multi-branded locations with Tricon Global Restaurants. By March 2002, the Yorkshire Tricon multi-branding test consisted of 83 KFC A&Ws, 6 KFC Long John Silver's, and 3 Taco Bell Long John Silver's, and was considered successful by the companies. In the late 2000s, A&W added franchises with a nostalgic look and modern technology. They have a car hop designed with drive-throughs, and some have picnic tables. Yum! Brand Society subsidiary. Yorkshire in March 2002 merged with Tricon Global Restaurants to form Yum! Brands. A&W opened its first outlet in Bangladesh on 15th of December 2010. There are currently 2 outlets, and one in Dhamandi and another in Goshen. Most A&W stores that opened in the U.S. during Yum ownership were co-branded with another of Yum's chains, Long John Silver's, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC, the Great American brand subsidiary. In January 2011, Yum Brands announced its intention to sell A&W along with Long John Silver's, citing poor sales for both divisions. Yum planned to focus on international expansion for its remaining brands, with particular emphasis on growth in China. In September 2011, Yum announced that it would sell the chain to a Great American brand, the consortium of various A&W franchisees in the United States and overseas. The sale was finalized on December 19, 2011, under the leadership of returning CEO Kevin M. Basner. In early 2013, A&W introduced its first new product in several years, a 6-ounce version of its soft-serve blended dessert treat. Mini Polar Swirls were the first product to be launched on the line. The following summer, 250 of A&W's restaurants began hand-breading their chicken tenders, moving towards higher quality menued items and expanding their chicken category. In April 2014, the hand-breaded chicken tender Texas toast sandwich was added to the menu as a limited time offering, along with a campaign to create the world's largest branded hashtag. In June 2014, A&W launched 2 new flavors of its Polar Swirl dessert treat, Sour Patch Kids and Nutter Butter. In October 2013, A&W opened its first new concept restaurants, A&W Burgers Chicken Floats. The new concept focuses on fresh made-to-order food and heavily emphasizes customer service. The menu features burgers made with fresh beef and a choice of toppings, hand-branded chicken tenders, all beef hot dogs, and several sides. In April 2018, A&W returned to Singapore after a 16-year absence. In June 2019, A&W became the first franchise restaurant chain to turn 100. There are nearly 1,000 A&W restaurants worldwide, with approximately 600 in the U.S. Mascots. In the 1960s, a character named Chubby Chicken appeared on all Chubby burgers. In 1963, A&W introduced 4 choices of hamburgers in their corresponding burger family members: Papa Burger, Mama Burger, Teen Burger, and Baby Burger. Each burger had a wrapper featuring a cartoon image of a corresponding character. Rooty, the Great American Root Beer, originated in Canada in 1974 as a counter to the competition of Ronald McDonald of McDonald's, and first appeared in the United States in 1976. However, the character's introduction was almost aborted when the marketing received focus group research or results that reported a poor reaction to him. In reaction, the marketing director, acting on instinct about the appeal of the character, ordered the researcher to return to Toronto with a cover story, but he never presented that report. The researcher complied when Rooty was presented to the franchisees as such. Rooty proved a popular marketing success. Throughout the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, Rooty was the face of A&W, both the bottled drinks and the restaurant chain, on television and print advertising. His presence all but disappeared in the late 1990s, but in 2011, under new ownership, Rooty has come out of retirement. He has since been featured in print ads on A&W's website as the voice of their official Twitter account and in a variety of YouTube and Vine videos. In 2013, Rooty became the first mascot to have an official LinkedIn profile, which was quickly shut down as Rooty was not considered real by the authorities in LinkedIn. In 1998, the characters from the comic strip Blondie, including Blondie and Dagwood Bumstead, the license for use at A&W franchisees as part of an All-American Food campaign. Gallery: Fried chicken with rice, Jakarta, Indonesia. A&W Waffles Ice Cream, Malaysia. And A&W Drive-In in New York, 1973.